Hi, everyone. I'm Colleen. Welcome back to another live stream, which, of course, is brought to you by the awesome people over at Princess Dental Staffing. Happy Wednesday, everyone. So, today's topic, we are talking about dentist job descriptions. Okay. So, job descriptions are really important. Basically, a job description is a composition that you use to post for an opening within your office or within your practice. Okay. And there's definitely some key information you're going to want to include. And we're going to be talking about all the key information you're going to want to include, why you want to include that key information, and also give you an example of a job description written for a dentist. Okay. So, a job description's job essentially is to not only inform potential applicants about the position that you have available, things like, responsibilities, qualifications, and those sorts of things. But it's also an excellent tool to attract the right candidates and applicants for your position. So you're definitely going to want to be concise but impactful. You're going to want to include key information, but also information that is designed to attract the right type of candidate that's going to be a good fit for your office or your practice. Okay, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. Okay. But of course, before I dive too deeply into that, just want to remind everyone that Princess Dental Staffing is an online dental job board. They have positions available for dental receptionists, dental assistants, dental hygienists, and yes, dentists in a variety of different areas. They've got full time, they've got part time, they've got temporary, and they've got permanent. Okay. So if you have some time today, hop onto princessdentalstaffing.com, see what positions they have available in your area. It's also super easy to create a profile and get your information in front of the decision makers, the hiring managers. Okay. And while you're on princessdentalstaffing.com, you can also check out their blog, which covers a lot of the same topics that we cover in these live streams. Okay. So you don't have to remember every single thing I'm telling you. You can watch after this video post, you can watch it as many times as you want, or you can head on over to princessdentalstaffing.com, pull up their blog post, and read it that way. Their blog posts also have a lot of links to related information for further reading as well. So it's a great thing to check out. Okay. Speaking of these live streams, each week Princess Dental Staffing is bringing you a new live stream on Wednesdays that cover a new topic regarding your career in the dental industry. So if you don't want to miss out on future streams, be sure to follow our page or subscribe to our channel. If you like the content we're bringing you, drop us a like. And if you have anything to contribute to the conversation, if you have a question, if you have some thoughts or insights, if you want to, discuss further any of the details that we're talking about on this live stream, be sure to comment below. And of course, if we couldn't get to your comment when the stream is live, we will get to it as soon as possible. Okay? All right, so let's talk about these job descriptions, okay? And I love streams like this because, when we're talking about something like a job description, now largely you're going to be interested in how to write a job description if you're someone who has to write job descriptions, right? If you are, an owner or an office manager or someone who has to write a job description for a dentist, today's stream is definitely for you, but it's also for job seekers as well, people who are looking for a job as a dentist. Okay. Because we're going to be talking about some of the things that are going to be included. And we'll also kind of be talking about how you can tailor your resume or your CV, and trying to pick out, just as a job seeker, trying to pick out that key information, that key data in order to tailor your resume or your CV. If you're not tailoring your resume or CV, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you do so. Okay. And we're going to talk about why and how. Okay, so this stream is for everybody. So come on in, sit down, crisscross applesauce. Let's get into it. Okay. All right. So let's first start off by talking about the different elements of a dentist job description. Okay. First of all, you've got your intro paragraph. Okay. So this paragraph talks a little bit about your office, right? You're introducing yourself to the job applicant, right? The job seeker. Excuse me. Okay. So that you're introducing yourself. So this is a great opportunity to include things like your culture, your mission statement, a little bit about your values, those sorts of things, so that you can really capture the job seeker's attention and really kind of just tell them a little bit about what you're about. And as a job seeker, this is a really great opportunity to learn a little bit about the office and to see if your values, hopefully, you've done the work beforehand and you know what your values are and what you're looking for in a potential employer. Okay. And this will give you the opportunity to decide if this is even in alignment with your goals as a job seeker, as within your career, right? Ideal candidate statement. So, if you're writing the job description, you definitely want to talk a little bit about what your ideal candidate looks like. Okay. So, for example, their top skills, their attributes, those sorts of things. Okay. And again, as the job seeker, you can see if that aligns with your top skills and attributes, and see if you'd be able to work your magic with this office or this practice. Okay. Next, you want to talk about responsibilities, and I'm listing these kind of uh, more or less in order, but of course you can switch them up a little bit depending on the specific needs of your office. But you're also going to want to you also are going to want to include some responsibilities. Essentially, what does a typical day look like for this dentist in your office, right? What are some of the typical things that they're going to be looking for? Of course, you can't encompass every single thing, every single possibility, right, for these dentists, right? You can't encompass everything. So just giving them some responsibilities, what a typical day looks like, will give the job seeker enough information to know what they can largely expect, right? Because you can't expect the unexpected, right? So largely what they can expect on a day-to-day basis. And for job seekers, again, these responsibilities, if you've handled them before, make sure you highlight those in your work experience, right? If you've done A, B, and C, well, great. Go ahead and make sure that you highlight those and mention them in your work experience of the work experience section of your resume or your CV. Education, training, and experience, another really important part of the job description. Right, being a dentist, there are definitely some base standards that you need in terms of like education, training, and those sorts of things. In terms of experience, that's really going to depend on what your needs are as as an office. Can you hire somebody who's a little bit more of a green thumb, someone who doesn't have as much experience, maybe like an entry level dental role, or do you really need someone to come in and hit the ground running, someone that's got a lot of experience, or someone in the middle? That's really going to depend on your needs as an individual office. So definitely make sure that you are taking the time to kind of consider those things and determine exactly how much experience is really required, and if there's any extra education or training that is required or that you would at least prefer, right? And again, for job seekers, this is great information. The education, training, and experience, especially if it's specialized, great thing to include an introduction on your resume or your uh, on your CV. Okay. Really just kind of noting those things up front so that when someone reviews your resume or your CV, they can see right off the bat, okay, they're checking this they're checking this box, they're checking this box, right? Okay. Skills and qualifications. Again, so outside of education, training, or experience, skills and qualifications. So things like, uh just maybe some of your softer skills, like communication or personal skills, those sorts of things, the ability to use culturally sensitive information or culturally sensitive communications, maybe extra languages, or things of that nature. Okay. And again, these skills and qualifications, again, if you're a job seeker, if they're really specialized and there's something that you possess, great thing to include in your introduction and or your skills section if you have one. Okay. Hours, you definitely want to include hours, especially if they're outside of the normal, sort of 9 to 5, Monday through Friday kind of thing. It's always a good idea, even if they're pretty regular, right? Hours are still a good thing to include, just so that the job seekers know, what to expect, what their routine schedule should look like, right? And that way they can just tell right off the bat if it's just something that the job seeker can't do. Well, then they're not going to apply for the position, right? And then that's less time you have to spend reviewing resumes of people who aren't going to be a good fit. They just can't do the hours. If they can't do the hours, they can't do the hours, right? Pay and benefits. Okay. So always recommend including something about benefits, some of the benefits that you offer, because that is something that is very important to job seekers. Now, when it comes to pay, it's always recommended to include at least a salary range. Okay. And you can even if you include a salary range, but the number that you have in your head is usually like towards the lower end of the range. You can always say something like, okay, the salary range is X to Y. Generally, um, generally, it's expected that most candidates will be offered closer to the lower end of the scale or something like that. Now, depending on where you are, you may be obligated to include salary or at least a salary range. Okay. Several states and even some cities within states have mandated that if you post a job for that specific area, like you don't even have to be in the state. For example, if you're in, yeah, for example, Colorado is a state that has mandated for the last few years that you have to include salary. Okay, so even if you are in another state, if you were in wherever, Texas or wherever, Oklahoma, wherever, and you're posting for an opening in Colorado, you still have to include the salary range for Colorado, at least the salary range or the salary itself. Okay. So you may be obligated to include the pay, but even if you're not obligated, it's always recommended that a salary range is a good idea just to kind of have that transparency and kind of start to build that trust with those job seekers. Okay. So make sure that if you've never done a job description before and you're posting, make sure you do your research to ensure that it's not obligatory, it's not mandatory, or if it is or isn't mandatory is what I meant to say, in your state or in your city. Okay. And lastly, you may want to include a recap, just a quick recap of the information so that when the job seeker scrolls down or something like that, they can see, key information like job type, hours, salary, benefits, all those sorts of things, just to make it a little bit easier, just for scannability. Okay. Something you may want to consider including. Okay. So those are the different elements of a job description. So here I have an example of a dentist job description. So let's go ahead and read that. Okay. Okay. Our well established dental practice has an amazing opportunity for an associate dentist. This opportunity is at our state of the art dental practice in Phoenix and is a full time position. Okay, so we've got some great key information there just in 2 sentences, right? Well established dental practice lets the job seeker know that you've been around for a little while and you may have a strong patient base, client base, right? State of the art dental practice, it means that you value technology and progress, okay, within the dental industry. In Phoenix, the location, full time position, great, we know that information, okay. Next paragraph. The ideal candidate is reliable, possesses excellent communication skills, performs top quality dentistry, and is comfortable with all facets of dentistry, including examinations, reading x rays, fillings, sealants, molar endo, and surgical extractions. Proficiency with x ray machines, drills, lasers, digital scanners, and other technologies is essential. The dentist should be motivated, possess excellent clinical and communication skills, and be comfortable meeting production goals. The ability to supervise additional staff, including dental hygienists, dental assistants, dental laboratory technicians, and receptionists, is also a plus. Okay. So if you're a job seeker, right, and you're reading just those first two paragraphs, what I'm getting out of that is that this office definitely values technology, definitely values keeping up with the changes within the dental industry. Okay. So if you are a job seeker and that is something you value as well, and you can sort of talk about that in your experience, maybe your introduction, maybe your skills, focus on that. That's a great thing to focus on. Okay. Also, some of those like the typical day and the tasks and responsibilities, great thing to focus on in your experience. And some of those skills, great to include in a skills section. So there's lots of great information here to help you kind of tailor your resume in just two paragraphs, right? And again, as the person, as the potential employer, right, who has written and posted this job description, you're being very clear and very upfront about what it is that you are looking for, and that helps you deter applicants who maybe just don't fit your expectations. Okay. So that's going to give you a stronger, more reliable applicant pool. Okay. So that you don't have to, waste time reading through a lot of information or a lot of like candidates that maybe you're not that interested in hiring because they just don't align with what you see your practice as being. Okay. Next paragraph. The dentist will perform oral examinations, including x rays of teeth and gums. As needed, will perform various dental procedures, including fillings, repairs, sealants, cleanings, extractions, and whitening. Supervision of staff and administrative paperwork will also be required. Typical day, right? A DDS or DMD degree and license to practice dentistry in Arizona are required, with a minimum of 2 years of experience as a dentist. Okay, great. So, again, as the job seeker, you know kind of some of the things that you want to include right up front in your introduction as much as possible. Okay. This is a full-time position. We said that already, but we're just going to reiterate. Full-time position, Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. with major holidays off. That's a great benefit. Salary is up to $200,000 a year with bonuses. Okay, so I don't believe Arizona is one of the states, at least last I checked, I don't believe it was one of the states where you're required to include salary. But this person did. Again, it's very transparent, right? Benefits include health insurance with dental and vision. Again, great information. Okay. So that is our sample job description. You see how in just a few paragraphs, we've gotten a lot of information. Job seekers, you know exactly what to focus on, what to include, what to make sure to highlight in your own resume and or CV, right? And for the person who wrote that job description, you can definitely expect to have a really robust applicant pool that possesses a lot of the skills that you're looking for, right? Possesses a lot of like the skills, the attributes, the knowledge, the experience, and the education and training that you're looking for, right? Okay. Alrighty. So most job descriptions that you're going to see for dentists are going to be for general dentists, right? Largely, but there are a lot of specialists that you may that you may need to write a job description for, right? So we're just going to briefly go over some of the specialists, what essentially their job is, right? And we'll talk a little bit about some of the things that you may want to focus on a little bit more if you're writing a job description for someone who specializes in a specific area. Okay. Starting with dental anesthesiologist. So a dental anesthesiologist attends medical surgeries and administers drugs, anesthesia, for dental surgery. Monitors sedated patients to keep them safe and help patients manage pain after surgery. So for that particular job posting, you may want to focus on knowledge of different anesthesias, potential interactions, those sorts of things, and also helping those patients manage pain, maybe using some strong communication skills or interpersonal or empathy skills to kind of determine what the patient is feeling and how you can help ease that, right? Dental public health specialists promote dental health and prevention within communities. So you're definitely going to want someone who can network, right? You're definitely going to want someone who can communicate with diverse groups of people. Okay. You're also going to want someone who knows a little bit about maybe adult learning theory. Okay. Or maybe child learning theory as well, depending on who they're going to largely be addressing, right? Endodontists treat many causes of tooth pain and typically perform root canal treatments to relieve pain or help injured or infected teeth. Okay, so definitely a specialty that you'll want to focus on, maybe some specialized training or experience. Oral and maxillofacial radiologists specialize in the interpretation of x-rays and other imaging technology to help diagnose diseases in the head and neck, right? So definitely going to want to focus on their technical skills, their detail orientation. Okay. Oral and maxillofacial surgeons treat diseases, injuries, and defects of the mouth, jaws, teeth, gums, neck, and head, performing surgical procedures. Examples include repairing a cleft lip and removing impacted teeth, right? So manual dexterity is something that you're definitely going to want to focus on as well. Oral pathologists may research and examine diseases affecting various regions of the face and mouth. They may specialize in diagnosing and treating diseases such as bumps, ulcers, cancer, and other oral diseases. Okay, so definitely some specialized education or training there, or maybe some experience. Okay, orthodontists work with the alignment of the jaw and cosmetic appearance of teeth. Often, orthodontists are known for straightening teeth by applying pressure to the teeth with retainers, braces, or Invisalign. Okay, orthodontists largely, not exclusively, but largely work with like teens, right? Preteen, teenagers, um, you know, um, braces, Invisalign, all those sorts of things, retainers, etc. So you may want to focus on. So if your client base is your patient base is largely teenagers, you're going to want to focus on someone who can communicate and connect with those teenagers, right? Pediatric dentists specialize in working with dentistry for infants, children, teens, and other special needs patients. So again, kind of the same thing, right? Pediatric dentists, you're going to want someone who has experience working with children, helping put them at ease because they can definitely feel a lot of fear of the dentist, right? And lastly, periodontists. So, periodontal disease is a chronic inflammation of the gums and bones, also known as gum disease. Periodontists specialize in preventing, diagnosing, and treating periodontal disease and supporting healthy gums and bones that support the teeth. So, again, you're going to want someone who's not only knowledgeable in preventing and treating some of these diseases, knowledgeable in a lot of these diseases, but somebody who can communicate some of these complex issues to patients in a way that they can understand, right? Communicating these things to people who probably don't have the same education and background that you do in this specialty, right? Okay. Alrighty, so those are some of the specialists and that you can write a job description for, a dentist job description for. So now that you have your job description perfected, why not hop on over to princessdentalstaffing.com and reach out and see when they can post your job and see what applicants you can um, uh, a great applicant pool you can expect from Princess Dental Staffing. Okay. So if you have that all ready to go, be sure to reach out to princessdentalstaffing.com and see where you can go from there. Okay. All right. So thank you for being here today with me, everyone, on this Wednesday. We'll be back next Wednesday with a new live stream covering a new topic regarding your career in the dental industry. Until then, have a great week. Have a great weekend. Continue to stay safe out there. I'll see you soon. Bye.